Welcome to Next to Madison, a podcast to help you live your best life.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Next to Madison. This is episode 137. You guys, it's Christmas this week. Can we believe it? Another year has passed, Christmas, and then it's going to be New Year's. And a lot of us are starting to think about what our goals or resolutions are going to be for the new year. And everybody always gets very excited about this, and they make their wish and all this stuff, and it's an exciting time. But how do you kind of maintain and stay on those goals? So obviously, I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas, if that's what you celebrate. And just remember what Christmas is about. It's not about the things we get. It's about being around the people that we love, and Jesus's birthday. So what we can do to kind of show that love and appreciation for our Creator's birthday, our Creator Son's birthday, is to make sure that you're kind to each other. So if you can do something nice for somebody, I'm going to encourage you all to do that. You get so much more from doing something for somebody else than you are going to get from a Louis Vuitton bag or a Chanel bag or whatever the hell you're going to get, or an iWatch or whatever. So I'm encouraging each and every one of you to do something nice, whether it's buying a cup of coffee for somebody, giving money to a homeless person, buying blankets that you can get for really cheap at like Kmart or even the Dollar Tree, and giving those to somebody who's in need, just doing something. It doesn't take a lot to make somebody's day, or even complimenting their outfit. There's so many things we can do that can brighten somebody else's day. And that's what Christmas is about, is showing love and being kind to each other. It's not about the gifts. The gifts are amazing, and it's great. And I hope everybody gets what they want for Christmas, but always remember what it's truly about. So I wish everybody a wonderful, wonderful Christmas season. And we'll be back obviously next week with another episode right before New Year's. So we'll talk about that. But in this episode, I'm sitting down with a health guru who is going to kind of talk about self-sabotage, weight, health, fitness, and how to create a positive mindset, which we all should be shifting our priorities and mindsets and goals and visions for the new year, which is right around the corner. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a very exciting episode. I'm excited to talk about this because I think mindset is everything, and it helps create our reality that we live in. Sometimes if we're in crappy situations, start to think about maybe what your mindset has been and what your thoughts have been, because it can directly kind of dictate what's happening. So I'm encouraging everybody, obviously, not only to be kind, but to stay positive as well. So make sure you listen to this episode, because we are diving into how to have the best mindset for 2022. I'd like to welcome LaJune Singleton, health and wellness coach. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on. A little bit in my introduction, we were talking about, how we're going to focus on kind of mindset, you're a mindset strategist, and also nutrition, and goals and weight and all that good stuff. But before we kind of get into that stuff, I want to talk about, just have you tell us a little bit about your background and kind of what led you to this career choice.
Okay, so I am a health and wellness coach, as well as a board certified health coach, advanced personal trainer, mindset strategist, as you mentioned, nutritional lifestyle coach, author, podcaster, and kind of getting into the directing. I hope to have a movie out about my book. And I got into it. Growing up in the South, a lot of people deal with obesity. I'm from Louisiana, born and raised, lived in Dallas. Now I'm in the Maryland area. People would always ask me to help them with losing weight, working out with them. And I was like, oh man, I should make this into a career, which I did. So I started off with being a personal trainer, had a knee injury, and a lot of my past started coming up from the grief of my father, depression of dealing with the knee injury, and childhood molestation. Things started coming up for me. So I started to, how we women always say, oh, I'm going to the gym after work. and just being busy. And we would we come up with 101 reasons why.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided that me personally experiencing being a busy career woman, that sometimes we sabotage ourselves. We come up with excuses and we never put ourselves first. So I was like, I need to work with women to help them understand that. So that's how I got started.
I mean, that is quite the background that you have. Because you also, before, I know that you had written a book called Releasing My Trauma, The Root of Self-Sabotage. So let's go into that real quick, because you had mentioned the trauma you've gone through. So,
So I decided to write the book. I went to Bali in 2019, and I felt that the book would be therapeutic, just to release all of my trauma, let go of all of my past, the things that was holding me back, just to 100% forgive and let go. And this book is a self-help memoir for other men, women who have experienced trauma and really don't realize that your past is some of the reasons you're sabotaging yourself.
that makes complete sense. Can you give some examples of that for the listeners? Because they may not even realize they're in this vicious cycle.
So, for example, grief. Grief can show up in different ways. For me, when I was before the knee injury and I gained weight,
Mm-hmm.
I was anorexic. So I would sleep all day. I was depressed, and that was where I was. I just would sleep all day. I would work out. I would eat at a minimum. That's how it can show up, um, with grief and dealing with molestation. As the knee injury, it changed. I started finding comfort in food, and I started to gain weight. Also with grief, when you lose a parent, abandonment. So relationships for me were, I always kept everybody in a friendship zone because that was safe to me. I could control that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't control relationships 100%, but I can control friends.
Yeah.
So that was my safe space, was friendship. So, if it got too comfortable and cozy, I got to kind of back away. And
That's me right now.
yeah, and
That
that is a lot of people, and we don't, when we think of people who cheat, are they really cheating, or is this something in their life that happened that caused them to be the person that find comfort in other people? So that's the reality of it. I never cheated on anybody,
yeah.
but I remember telling my high school boyfriend, I was like, I want to date other people because I didn't want to hurt him, but I still hurt him.
Right. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
It's a tricky thing. Yeah. It's like putting, people in the friend zone is always, we
It's
feel keeps us safer, but eh, we miss out on the other part of it, which is
right,
that true love and commitment,
right.
you know.
So those are just some examples of self-sabotaging behaviors. It was showing up in jobs. I would, leave jobs, go to other jobs, and it would be the same circumstances at those jobs, just different people.
So how did you finally break that pattern?
So my awakening was when I went to Bali, and it was a therapeutic and spiritual moment. I went to a retreat, and it, taught me a lot. It taught me I was dealing with abandonment. And when you think of losing a loved one, you never, connect that's abandonment for you. You never really see it as abandonment. But as a kid, you feel like you are abandoned because that person died.
Yeah.
Um, Working on forgiveness, that was something big for me, being able to forgive my molester, to forgive God, my father, my mom, myself, being able to 100% let that go.
Yeah.
So it was a huge awakening for me.
Wow. What was the name of this retreat you went to?
The retreat was called Live Limitlessly. It was by Shanoa Maxwell. She used to be an actress. Now she's an emotional life coach.
And so how long were you down there for?
It was for a week.
Okay, and worth it, obviously?
It was worth every penny. And I honestly did not have the money to go. My friend wanted to go for her birthday.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I'm gonna go because this is something you really want to do.
Yeah.
And it was life changing. I definitely thank her for inviting me. I met some amazing women. It was a total of 6 of us, and I'm still friends with each and every one of them. One was from New York, one was from Atlanta, one was from the DC area, and one was from the UK. And we are literally the one from UK. Her birthday is the day after mine. She's my little sister. Love her to pieces.
Oh,
So I keep in contact with each and every one of them. And my friend, of course, that invited me, she and I are still close. And Shanoa and I communicate off and on. So.
wow. And so when you got back from this week-long life-changing experience, I'm going to call it, you there was something that happened there that caused you to say, you know what, I need to write this book.
So, literally before I left, people could see the change in me from when I first arrived compared to the last day. And they were like,
In
"You're
7 days?
different." In 7 days, I kid you not. They were like,
Oh,
I see something different. Like you really like you are shining. So even when I went back to work, people were like, okay, your energy is different. There's something different about you. So I came back, I started writing a book in December of 2019. And I just was like, I need to really release and let go. I'm sure some people have heard about when they go to therapists, and therapists will say, write a letter to everyone that hurt you, but you don't have to mail a letter if you choose not to. So that was kind of like my letter, but in a book. And when I started writing it, it was like, okay, I need to let other people know that their life can be changed as well because everybody cannot afford to go to a retreat.
right.
So maybe you're able to get this from reading my book on how you can realize, okay, my trauma has sabotaged my life in relationships and how I treat myself in employment and my fears and things like that. So that was one of the reasons why I made it a memoir, a self-help memoir.
Yeah. And so when did the book get released?
So the book was released December 3rd
Uh,
of this month. Yeah.
oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it
It
is
literally
available.
just came. Yeah. It literally just came out.
Where can you get it?
So you can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Kindle, Google Play, Apple, several other retailers.
So you found a publishing house.
Yeah. Gatekeeper Publishing is the publishing company that I went through.
Wow, because you hear people that are first time authors that write a book and then they basically have to go the self-publishing route because it's the only way to kind of get it done. But you are actually able to find a publishing company.
Yep. And I literally just got
Yeah.
my own book yesterday. Everybody else has copies, and yeah, I literally got my own book.
Oh my God, that's amazing. So you guys, if you need that last minute Christmas present, go get it. It's called Releasing My Trauma, The Root of Self-Sabotage. I mean, that's amazing.
Thank you, thank you,
Ask your PR agent to send me a copy. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to support you. I'm going to go buy it. I'm going to go buy
thank you.
it. And then I'm going to mail it to you so you can sign it.
Yes, because I literally I
Awesome.
trained a client today, and I've signed 3 of her books. She bought 3 books, one for herself and 2 as Christmas gifts. and an ex-coworker, I signed hers last week. I met her in the parking lot and I signed two, one for her and one for her daughter. So yeah.
So, okay, so this happened like so quick.
Yes.
Did you consider yourself a writer before this?
No, I hated writing. I hated journaling.
How did
I
you
was
do this?
I was not a journalist. People would say journal, write stuff down to release or whatever, and I was not that person.
Yeah.
But literally after I left Bali, it was just like I became a different person, and I just started typing because someone asked me, "Well, how long did it take you?" I started in 2019. I got an editor this year, the beginning of this year, who went over it for me, um, and changed any errors that was in there, because I was up to 1 o'clock and 1 to 3 in the morning, and I'm typing, and I would go back and I'm like, this makes absolutely no sense. So I would have to go back and reread it again because I'm half asleep. And then it was moments where something would happen, like my mom would upset me and I'd start typing. I was like, okay, you're in a moment. So no, take
Yeah.
that out. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of how it went.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, what an amazing accomplishment. So yeah, you guys go buy that book. So I'm just in awe. But you also said you're already making this into a film? Like you're
So
gonna
I have a book trailer. So there's a book trailer that I did in
Wow.
November. And I knew nothing about book trailers. So someone I did a interview for, I was on their show, they were telling me about book trailers. And I was like, a book trailer? What is a
I
book
know
trailer?
I've never heard of it either.
And they sent me some links and I was like, oh, okay. So I was talking to the editor and she was like, yeah, I've heard of book trailers. So she told me to take important pieces from the book that were some of the leading causes of my trauma. And I found those. You can find it on YouTube if you go under my YouTube channel. It's Lejeune Singleton, and you can see the trailer.
Okay. So
And
JuneSingleton.com and I can see the trailer there.
so you can go either to YouTube or you can go to, I don't know if it's on, I think it's on, it may be on my website. Um, but it is, I know it's on YouTube, definitely.
Okay.
So I did it, and I actually have actors and actresses on there.
Uh-huh.
Um, so
So will you guys then reach out to like a publishing type house
um
or a movie production company for this?
So that is something that I plan on working on in the new year. Is reaching out to publishing companies, directors to pick up for a movie,
Okay.
because it is honestly, like you said, everything started moving really fast for me, and I'm definitely grateful for that. Um,
Yeah, I mean, it's like unbelievable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's kind of like when you introduce positive energy into your life and you start to eliminate self-sabotaging behaviors, you start to see how your life starts to transition.
Okay, so on the website lejunesingleton.com,
Yes.
we can see the book trailer.
You can see the book trailer there. You can also see it on YouTube at Lejeune Singleton channel.
Okay, perfect. And so are you guys gonna self-produce this or try to get a big production company to do it? How's that?
I would like a big production company to
Of
do it.
course, girl.
So Jada, Will,
Yeah.
Oprah, if you're listening, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, if they were listening to this podcast, I'd be on a yacht somewhere. So yes, please get them to listen to this podcast.
Hey, they
I'm
could
big
be listening.
fans.
We don't know.
You never know. That is very true. So, and what kind of film would it be? Would it be kind of like a documentary self-help, or would it actually be maybe a scripted version of you as a younger child?
So it would be scripted. where it would be a scripted version of me as a young child through teenage, pre-adult, adult to the point now. So it'll show like all the trauma and experiences that I went through.
I mean, right, which will help so many other people too, because so many people go through such similar situations and they don't know how to deal with it. But it's interesting how self-sabotage shows up in our lives and we don't really realize it. Like self-sabotage could be maybe you get asked out on a date and you're scared so you don't go. That's obvious self-sabotage.
Right.
But you're talking more of the underlying self-sabotage that we may not even know that's happening.
Oh, yeah. So fear is one of the major reasons we self-sabotage because we
Yeah.
don't know what it looks like or what will it look like if we actually do it when it comes to, people's fear of getting laid off or quitting their job or getting fired, what that looks like if they decided to go in and start their own business.
True. True. Okay. So wait. So when you're saying if they're going to get quit or get laid off because they want to start their own
No,
business.
no, no. So if someone gets fired or they get laid off, but they have a great business idea that they've been sitting on and they've been talking about it for years,
Yeah.
but they have the opportunity now that they could focus on this career. But what do? We go look for another job.
Yes, because people want the
Because
safe way.
yeah, because I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what the outcome will be. What if I don't make money? What if people are not, and that's self-sabotaging thinking and behavior right there because you're already saying negative things to make this not work for you.
Right. Okay. So yeah, and I think it's uh important that people understand like kind of what these look like so they can be aware and say, aha, that's me doing that thing. So the whole looking for another job could simply look like, well, I need money coming in, I need health insurance, I need certain things like that. But I think it's important to go into your center and say, like, what do you want more? Do you want
Exactly.
to get that job and have that insurance and that safe paycheck to only have it maybe happen again? Or do
Right.
you
Or
want
also to be stressed out.
right. And I think a lot of people now, especially with the jobs, people are really kind of tapping into what they really want because so many people have been remote and kind of adjusted that lifestyle, whether they've gotten pets or moved away to a more livable place, especially people like where I used to live is New York City, and I'll eventually have to go back. But all these companies that are forcing their workers to come back, I think are going to be in for a rude awakening when people start leaving to go find those remote jobs. So even if you don't want to start your own business, but you don't want to go back to the office or move back to where you used to be, like that's another thing is
Right.
don't think you have to. There's always ways out of it.
Right.
And so
And
what does self-sabotage in relationships look like besides the obvious of not accepting invitations?
so it's many things. Not being vulnerable and open in a relationship, communication, not listening. Also, how you see your partner. Do you see your partner as just a friend? Do you see them as your partner? Do you just see them as someone that's there because you don't want to be alone? And you hear many cases of people staying in toxic relationships because, oh, I've been in it for 7 years, but I don't want to be alone. So I'm just going to stay in it.
Yeah, which is such a waste of your life and your partner's life because you're not doing
Right.
them any favors either.
Right.
So it's kind of like that two-way street. But what about in like dating? What if you're not in a partnership? Like how are you? Because I feel like
So,
I'm doing this right now.
so dating, immediately putting them in a friend zone. Also, I've had friends say, okay, well, I really don't like the person, but I'm tired of being single, so maybe I'll give them a chance. If you already know off the bat you're not attracted to someone or you don't like them, don't waste your time because you're not being fair to that person.
I agree. Yeah, it's true. And we also
So,
have to remember that, attraction is more than just looks too.
right. So it's physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual attraction, communication, listening, all those things are important. If that person is not meeting those needs for you, do not waste their time and don't waste your time because you cannot turn a frog into a prince. It's children's book. It's not reality. You can't make anybody what you want them to be. And we see it so many times where someone is trying to mold someone into their ideal person. Find your ideal person and leave that person alone.
So let's talk about that then, which is part of the mindset or law of attraction, which is all part of this health, lifestyle, spiritual thing. How can one kind of manifest the person that is their ideal, that fits with them, where they don't have to do any changes or question everything?
The law of attraction, honestly, with ourselves, we need to be our whole selves. You hear so many times that, oh, I want to make you happy. You can't make anyone else happy but yourself. It starts with yourself. And you hear that in a lot of times where a guy's like, oh, I want to make you happy. He can't make you happy. Only you can make you happy. And he can contribute to your happiness, but he can't make you happy if you're not already happy. No one can give you confidence. No one can give you anything that you're lacking in your life internally, yourself, but you. So that is one of the major things is finding your own wholeness and finding attracting someone else who is their whole self and becoming one together.
Yes. So, everybody knows kind of about law of attraction and the secret. But yeah, if you haven't made the change, now's the time to do it because you ain't getting any younger.
No. So I've definitely taken the last 2 years to date myself and get to know myself. And I've learned so much about myself that I did not know. And I was like, oh, wow. Uh, so it was, a lot of stuff that I had to look at that, when you start requesting what you want for somebody else, you have to really look at yourself and say, oh, do I possess those things myself? Because we ask for things, but are we possessing those things ourselves when it comes to finances, when it comes to, oh, I want to travel, when it comes to credit, different things like that? Those are conversations that need to be had. Children, if you have kids and that person doesn't have kids, are you okay with that? Things like that that we have to really focus on because I think we get so caught up with I'm alone and I want somebody to fill that void, but you got to fill that own void with yourself.
Yes, it is so true because if you, get into a relationship eventually and you haven't fixed these problems, eventually they're going to rear their ugly head.
Yeah.
you know so let's switch gears. Maybe we're not switching that far, but mindset. Let's talk about mindset because it is almost 2022. People are really thinking long and hard about their New Year's resolutions, which everybody seems to get very excited about, but come January people just really start to forget, fall off that path. It's like the January 1st can't find a treadmill at the gym, and then come February you're like, there's lots of treadmills at the gym.
Right, 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 right. So, what I say about this, it's great to have plans for the new year.
Yeah.
But for me, I do believe that you should start now because today isn't 100% promised to you. Tomorrow isn't promised to you. At any accident can happen. You can die instantly today. That's the reality of life. So why continue to put off what we can do now for January 1st?
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about what a healthy mindset looks like and how you can build an even better one because we're never done growing.
What you say, being cautious of what you say, your words are important. So speaking positivity over yourself, over your life. One of the major things that we ourselves talk so negatively to ourselves
Yeah.
than we do to anyone else. If anyone else said it to us, we're upset, we're ready to curse them out, we're ready to fight.
Yeah.
But we can say, "Oh my God, I'm so stupid." Why? And those are negative words that we say.
Yeah.
So being mindful of what you're saying starts there. Don't say you're broke. Don't say you're stupid. Don't say, oh, that was dumb. Get the learning from it. What did you learn from that experience? From that person you dated, from a friend that you're not friends with anymore, from your financial experience? What are you gaining from that? Instead of looking at the downside of it.
Okay. So kind of yeah, because I've had um people I've sat down with, whether they're spiritual people or ministers, and they always say, watch your language, because it's very easy to say, I don't want that. And you genuinely mean you don't want that, but it's a negative tone with it.
Right.
So instead of saying, I don't want to meet somebody who already has kids, let's say, you could say, I can't wait to meet my perfect partner who's not going to have kids. So
Yeah.
it's that language shift.
Yeah, it's the language shift. Also, writing down what you want. Make it plain on paper what you want, and you
Yeah.
will literally see that come to life. So
This
write
is
it
my
down.
this is my homework. This is going to be my new vision board. It's just a blackboard, but I have to
Yes.
I have to put it together. But that's a good way to do it too, right?
Yeah, vision board, writing it down. You can write stuff down all during your day and your week of writing down what you want. And writing it down is basically a reminder that you can go back and you can look at it and say, okay, well, this happened for me. Okay, let me check that off. Gratitude. Gratitude is one of the major things, is being, showing things even for the stuff that you don't have yet, it's soon to come. And some of the things that I wrote in mine that I'm starting to see now, and I'm like, oh wow, it's coming to light.
That's got to be such an amazing feeling, and to know
It
it
is.
really is real. Um,
Right.
and some people out there will say, "Oh, I'm going to ask the universe." Some people say, "Oh, I'm going to ask Jesus," whatever you believe in. And I remember, I would always ask people to pray for me. When I had something big coming up or something I really wanted, and then my mother said to me one day, "Why don't you pray for yourself too? Why do you have to rely on everybody else to do it for you?" And I said, that's a good point. And I don't pray as much as I should. But I got to tell you, the ones where I've really prayed, where I'm like, God, I need your help, it happens quick,
Mm-hmm.
quick.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, within like 20 minutes to 8 hours.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So you got to really put it out there, but you have to believe it.
Oh yeah. Yep. And that's, I think, a challenge for most people is, they're like, well, I'm praying, praying, praying. But if you don't believe what you're praying, it's not going to come to light. So you have to believe it. It says in the Bible, you can move a mountain if you believe you can move that mountain.
Yes. And it's true. It's the faith. You can't just say, I want this. You've got to believe it, which will help you then take action.
And that
Um,
means not subconsciously having that doubt in the back of your head, like you 100% believe it's I'm gonna get it. I already got it. It's mine.
exactly. So yeah, that's the healthy mindset, is watching your words, believing in yourself is where I think it always comes from, right? Instead of
Yes.
being fearful or talking about what you don't want, flip what you do want and only talk about what you want, not what you don't want.
Yes.
Easier said than done. So make it an exercise, everybody.
Easier, yeah, it is. It is work. I'm not gonna say, oh, I went to Bali and some of the habits I had are not there anymore. It takes work. It
Yeah.
takes work. I literally have to check myself. I have friends that check me and it's like, no, I think you need to look at what you just did. So that's something to really think about, is having that support system that's going to be 100% with you. That's not just riding your coattail, but will be honest with you. That's another thing that's important going into the new year, making sure you have a support team that is open, honest, and 100% with you, is not just your, hey, oh no, that's okay if you messed up or whatever. No.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. And a lot of people, I guess, don't have accountability type partners. So
Right.
you don't have one, find one, even if it's like your, mom or dad or your brother or sister or somebody like that, because sometimes people don't want to share all the exciting things they have going on just yet.
No. No.
You know?
And also letting go of people who aren't serving you. If it's negative people in your life, let them go, because you have to look at where we try to hold on people because we've known them for years. Not good.
Yeah. No, it's that is true. And luckily the people I've known for years, they're good people. In my life there's no negative, but yeah, and sometimes people just grow apart, and
Right.
that can be hard because nothing really happened, but you just grow apart, and sometimes you have to let go of the fact that you grew apart. Because I would find myself sometimes, always being the one to reach out, and it
Oh
gets
yeah.
exhausting and it feels not great.
Yeah.
Why doesn't this person care about me? They care
Exactly.
enough to get back, but they don't, you know.
Hmm.
So that could be something as simple as, maybe I should kind of let that go.
Yeah, and you have to, if you start to realize that I am the always the one that's texting, calling, emailing someone, and they're not reciprocating, they're not checking on you once it during that month or that week or 2 months from now, whatever, stop contacting them, because apparently they don't see you as a priority anymore. So, you know, everybody is busy. You're busy, I'm busy, life is busy. But it doesn't take that much to say, oh, well, let me see how Madison's doing today. Let me send her a text message.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I try to make an effort to like reach out to people. I feel like I'm better at it than most people. But then on the flip side, there's also people that reach out to me, and then I'm not as good as getting back to them. I always do, but it's just kind of what happens in life, where people sometimes they say are only meant to be in our life for a short period of time. They come and they teach us things and show us things and we experience things, and then they're meant to kind of move on.
And that's true.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes we have to look at, why are we not responding as quickly to some people as we do to other people?
It,
So,
yep, it's true.
yep.
So we're all guilty of it. So don't beat
we're,
yourself up.
we're we're all guilty, because it could be, okay, well, I feel like I've outgrown this person, and that's okay.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So yeah, and it happens to everybody. So don't get your feelings hurt if somebody doesn't want to be your friend anymore. Or if you don't want to be their friend, doesn't matter. You don't have to tell them you don't want to be your friend. It just fizzles
Right.
out, right? Like
Right.
it's not like they don't like you or you don't like them. It's just things change and priorities change.
Yep. And people are at different stages in their life. So,
Yep, that is very true. So before we go, I do want to touch on the diet and fitness part, because I know that's a big proponent for most people in the new year. I would say probably 97% of people put some sort of lose weight on their resolution, maybe even higher. Um, so what are some things people can do to kind of lose weight or maintain a healthy weight?
so I'm going to say, like I say to my clients, it starts with mindset and nutrition. That's 80%. The fitness part is only 20%. I would recommend to any and everyone to get a food sensitivity test and tolerance test, which is the ones that I've done was Everly Wells. And I
Okay.
did my allergy test. I just did one with Vital Gene, which is a DNA one that tells you what you should eat based on your ancestry.
What was that
and
one called?
Vital Gene.
Vital Gene.
Yes.
And so is this just something you spit in a tube and send it back?
So you do a swab. It's two that you do for 60 seconds and you mail it back in. It takes about 4 to 6 weeks to get back. So it tells you your ancestry. It tells you your exercises you should do, how long you should do them for. It
What?
gives you a menu of what you should eat, and it's for the whole week. Um, and it also tells you what you're sensitive to. For me, due to my lineage, it told me to that sodium is a sensitivity, gluten is a sensitivity, and sugar is a sensitivity, and it'll give you a percentage of if it's lifestyle or if it's based on your ancestry. So of course sodium is based on lifestyle more so than your ancestry.
Right.
um so that one is good. Everly Wells is good. I did that one in 2019. And literally in 2 weeks, I cut out everything that was on the list and I dropped down 12 pounds. And it was inflammation because most of the foods that we're
Wow.
eating is causing inflammation in our body, which is causing us to get sick quicker.
Yeah.
Um, my allergy test was very in depth. That one, it'll tell you environmental things that you're allergic to, from foods, from cosmetics, from what else was it? Like leather was one of mine, and my car has leather seats. Um, yeah, rubber
Wow.
bands. Yeah, beads. I think beads was, mild, but it gave you a list of everything such as that. So those are the three tests that I've personally done. So actually, after my birthday is on Monday. So after my birthday, I am going to start incorporating the Vital Gene one just to see how my body responds, which is vegan. And I'm semi-vegan. I still eat turkey and seafood,
Okay.
but mostly like I do vegan cheese and vegan sour cream and things like that. So
Okay. Well, happy early birthday.
thank you, thank you.
That's it. This is an exciting year for you.
It is. I'm very excited about this year.
Yes, as you
Right.
should be. I know. I think it's going to be a good year. Hopefully, we'll get through all this COVID stuff, and people have got more in tune of what they want out of life and priority. And then they're going to listen to this podcast, and they're going to have a better mindset and watch their language,
Yes.
which is important, and get rid of that self-sabotage. And buy your book to help do it.
Yes, found my book, found my
You see the
book
cover. Oh, is that supposed to be Paula?
cover. No, this is actually me releasing my 7-year-old self. So
Wow.
it's like really releasing when all the trauma happened in my life. Yep.
Isn't it? That's and did you draw that?
No, I had a designer. She's a painter. Her name is Janelle Jordan, and she has great artwork. So she was the
Pardon
designer
me.
for it.
That is amazing. And so how were you able to get a publishing house so quick? Do you have any tips for that? Because there might be other people out there that want to write a book and don't know where.
So research, with this publishing house, I did have to pay them, but I get 100% of my royalties, which is something that most companies don't offer you. And they want a percentage of your book sales and everything like that. So
Yeah,
be mindful of that. So I get 100% of all of the book sales go to me.
and they helped get you into Barnes and Noble and all that.
They do all of that other part. They provided an editor if I needed an editor, but I already had that part done. If I didn't have the cover done, they would have did that as well. So they do the major stuff, but already had the legwork done.
Yeah,
So basically all they had to do was put the book together and put it in the stores.
that is awesome. And how's it doing so far? Do you know?
It is doing really well. Like people that I had no idea that bought my book tagged me and was like, "Hey, I got your book." A lot of friends have bought it, so it's doing well. So I'm very grateful for
Yeah.
everyone who has supported the book. Thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. And remind everyone where they can find more information on you, on your website, any of your social media handles or any of that stuff.
So you can find me on Facebook and LinkedIn at Lejeune Singleton. You can find me on Instagram at I am Lejeune Singleton, YouTube Lejeune Singleton, and my website is lejeunasingleton.com. And I do have a virtual event coming up on January 8th. It's called 2022 All About You, which is a health and wellness event. We're going to have 2 vegan chefs that's going to be
Wonderful.
cooking, and we have a total of 14 presenters and 7 to 8 sponsors. So,
Oh, well, that's fantastic.
yeah.
So
So it
yeah,
is
you
a
guys
virtual
check that
event.
out.
Yeah, so you can get tickets on Eventbrite.
Okay. Well, that is wonderful. And congratulations on the book, the event, all this stuff that you're doing and being really able to kind of heal yourself. That is such an accomplishment in itself. And being able to realize what was holding you back and being an inspiration for so many others out there that are going through something similar.
Thank you. And please, you guys take this holiday season to really horn in on yourselves and anything that's going on that's holding you back from love, from happiness, from joy, peace, really horn in on those things because it is important.
It is exactly a life well filled, right? It is balanced of
Yes.
everything, not just one thing. So create that balance, create that happiness because everyone deserves to live the best life they can live. And well, thank you so much for being my guest. And to everybody listening out there, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Next to Madison. And we'll see you guys next time to find out who's next.
Hey, your host here, Madison Malloy. Please make sure to subscribe to the show on all podcast platforms and please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. Also, if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at contact@nexttomadison.com. I thank you again for listening. Bye.